Hi, here's Neil, and I'm standing directly by the River Rhine in the town of Andernach. It's a very old town, over 2,000 years old. It's famous for, well, the world's highest cold water geyser, for starters. It's also famous for being the birthplace of Charles Bukowski, the famous writer. It's also directly adjacent to Germany's, largest dormant volcanic region. The Vulkan Eifel is really not far. But I've come here for a different reason altogether. I've come here because Andernach is a so-called edible city, and Andernach is also part of the global edible city network and is pretty much leading the game on making our towns and cities more sustainable when it comes to food. So I've got a couple of minutes still to kill, so I'm just going to finish my water here and then I'm going to saunter over to the city centre to meet the person who's in charge of the project, and she's going to take me through Andernach and show me all that there is to know about the edible city.
My name is Anneli Karlsson and I'm the project coordinator of Edible Cities Network in the edible city of Andernach. I'm working in the city administration in the Department of City Planning and Construction Consulting. So what we see here now is around the city center, around the city wall.
This is medieval, right? The city wall.
Yeah, this is the second oldest city in Germany. We have like a history of over 2,000 years. So we use this space, as you can see here, in front of the hottest space in the city. We have banana trees.
Is that a banana tree over there? Should we just go and have a quick look at that?
Yeah.
A banana tree in Andernach. I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a lot of plants, but not bananas.
Yeah. It's just a very favorable climate in front of the city wall. It's high, it just captures the warmth.
Or is that global heating already? That we're growing plants now that because it's so hot.
If you want to be clever, use the heat, but also plant vegetables or trees like these that can endure this heat. And I guess we're going to invest in olive trees soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think all the winemakers as well are also changing along the Rhine. They're switching to red, some of them now as well, to red grapes, right? So it's... But this banana plant, I mean, this is like almost 3 meters high, right? And you've already harvested bananas from this plant?
Not this particular one, no.
Okay, but you've eaten Andernach bananas?
Myself, no, I haven't.
Why not?
I haven't seen one yet.
They've gone too quickly. The people are picking them before you get there.
That could be. That's one of the learning curves we all have to go through here.
Okay.
You have to be quick and on point.
Maybe you have to write your name on the banana next time while it's growing.
Yeah, could be.
Reserve it.
Good idea.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And next to this banana tree, are these edible plants as well?
These particular, no, those are not edible. But we don't want to have any, open area. Every patch should be covered, because the more the vegetation cover, the less of evaporation you have, and keeps them moist in the soil. Wow. So it's always about the mix, favorable plants for each other, helping, keeping insects and pests away, for example.
Right. I mean, the diversity is just stunning. I mean, I think you probably need a botanist to name all these plants. Can you give me just a couple of names? Because I really don't know them, I must admit.
Let's go to the herbs.
Okay, the herbs, right. But here's a plaque, so actually people can they can see the description of the plants and the names. But I mean, I recognize lavender, right? I love lavender. Just putting my hand through that and smelling that, it's just wonderful. And then we've got thyme.
Echinacea is like the typical plant. Everyone knows it from, like, if you have a cold or something, echinacea is like a very good treatment for that. It's not blooming yet, so it's coming soon.
Well, we've got thyme here, we've got Greek mountain tea, goldenrod, Roman chamomile, yarrow. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, amazing. This already looks great.
So if you feel like picking something for a dinner, feel free. That's the deal here.
This is what I was going to say, because I mean, this looks pretty untouched, as if nobody's been picking away at it. How does this look? Towards autumn? Is it just completely as if the vandals have been at it?
No, not at all. It still looks very, very proper. It still looks like people use it, and that's also something that we want to encourage. If it looks like no one touches it, no one will go and touch it.
Yeah.
It's like if we invite them with a few cuts here and there, maybe that encourage people to join. Yeah.
So there's also nobody picking anything right now. I can't see anybody.
I saw a woman the other day. She was picking wine leaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe she was making like rice packages and packed in wine leaves, something like that.
Well, if we don't see anybody picking that I can talk to, then we better start picking ourselves. Maybe encourage some people.
Absolutely, feel
them
free
going.
to do that because that's our motto here. Feel free to pick.
Okay.
So let's go.
Oh, sorry, Anneli, just a second. This is a pomegranate.
Yeah.
Gosh. Again, I didn't realise they could even grow here. Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen one yet.
You're from Sweden originally, right?
Yeah, I am.
So how does someone from Sweden end up in Andernach?
Oh, it's a classic. Love, love, love.
Oh, love in Andernach?
Yeah, actually, that happened. I hope it still happens. Love happens.
So, and your background professionally, are you sort of environmentally minded? Is that something that was, from the cradle with you, or?
I was more into languages. I thought that I would land up somewhere learning the craziest languages you could imagine. But yeah, things happen, love happens, and I started anew here in Germany. Thought after finishing school in Sweden that a trip to Germany would be nice. Yeah, and then I started studying in Koblenz, environmental sciences there. Ecological impact assessment was a program. Mm-hmm. And then I continued. I got to just fell in love also there with pesticides and contamination of soil.
You fell in love with pesticides?
Yeah, this process is going on in the soil which we don't see and we can't explain. This abstract part that happens underground. Yeah.
Because there are no pesticides here, right? This is all organic, or do you use pesticides here?
We don't use pesticides. No, it's all organic. We have to do everything by hand. That's the deal.
That's a lot of work, right? I mean, how many people are working on this? You said it was it 16 hectares?
Around 14 hectares.
14 hectares.
Yeah, exactly. So we have our own workers who work with everything which park and recreations needs, tending to the grass, mowing the lawns and all these things. But we also have tree experts in our team in the Department of Urban Planning, and they are responsible for checking the trees that they are healthy, that they are secure. And we also have this cooperation with a company called Perspektive, and they are working with long-term unemployed people and people trying to get back into the working environment. And they work here with gardeners and try to establish a healthy work environment and doing a very useful task at the same time.
That's amazing. I mean, it'd be great if we could maybe find some of those today if they're out working and talk to them as well. It'd be fantastic.
Jörn Schamari aus Andernach, bin ungefähr seit...
My name is Björn Schamari. I'm from Andernach, and I've been involved in the Edible City project for about 6 or 7 years. When I joined, I was unemployed. I used to be a truck driver, but then I had a burnout. But this project helped me bounce back, and from next year, I've been promised a permanent position as a gardener here. The project has also changed my relationship to plants. Before, I had absolutely no interest in them. But now, I even plant fruits and vegetables at home. It has changed my life. I would definitely recommend this project to other cities. My diet hasn't really changed that much through the project. Even when I was unemployed, we would always cook fresh food every day. You can't live on kebabs all the time, after all.
Haben Sie denn eine Lieblingspflanze hier? Your favorite plant?
Der Mangold, der ist super.
The mangold. It's great because it grows all year round, and the leaves always look good and always grow back after harvesting. These make more sense than the lettuce heads because those are often harvested too early. But having said that, it's not really a problem either.
Das ist aber kein Problem.
Vielen Dank.
Viel Spaß noch. Ja.
Danke, thank you.
Danke dir.
Ja, danke schön. Voll erwischt.
Wonderful.
I can't stop smiling.
So that's pretty much exactly the outcome also you hope for on the social side of things, right?
Yeah. I don't know if the listeners would see me now, my lips are going from ear to ear. It's really the nice part that you see that you can be part of making a change, even if it's creating the infrastructure or setting up the foundation. Yeah, it's really
he's turned his life around, right, because of this project.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I can show you the chickens.
Chickens? You've got chickens as well? I thought it was just plants.
a chicken can be edible. As a vegetarian, I would say it's not, but for some people, it's also edible.
Okay, so we've just walked. We're walking through this. Well, it's almost like a gate, an old gate through the medieval town wall.
Yeah.
And as you can hear, there's some. This is like a little park area. Lots of roses. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this is all part of this project. It's all from the same budget then.
It's all edible city that started in 2010. My predecessors were all involved in the creation of this. It all was based on an idea that the city administration from the top, our mayor, was very keen on this issue and said, let's go for it and pull the strings. And eventually...
Was that a Green mayor or?
Social Democratic.
Social Democratic mayor.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something, I mean, it's not something that I come across, a lot. I mean, I do see urban gardening and stuff, but that towns actually invest in this at this sort of scale is quite rare, right?
Yeah, this is one of the few setups that I've seen so far working with edible cities around the world that has this top-down approach. Usually it comes from some initiative, grassroots initiatives or clubs of sorts that have interest in gardening. But this was an initiative that came from the exact opposite position. And it had some convincing work to do, because what I think is this is a non-political issue. I think creating nice space for your citizens is a non-political thing. Everyone wants to have a nice city to walk around in and feel good about. And the second gain that you have from making it edible is that you can pick from it and that people feel engaged more into what we are planting here. You don't feel such a relationship to a tulip or a rose maybe as you do to maybe a salad that you're going to pick tomorrow for your own dinner. And then I think the third goal that we have is that we are diversifying the environment for the bees and the insects and the birds, everyone that has the profit of having a very diverse environment.
The as you said earlier, the pesticides aspect that you were studying in Koblenz, the biodiversity angle of all this. Have you got any empirical data on how this project is impacting on biodiversity?
Over the years, there have been several different assessments of, I think University of Bonn, University of Koblenz. The current one that we had was a study that we had over 2 years running in our community garden. And they were studying beetles, ground-dwelling beetles, during this 2 summers. And they found out that we have a very Mediterranean fauna there. There were even 2 findings that were very peculiar, because it was the first sighting here in our region and the third one ever in Germany of 2 species. And that's really exciting. And you have to create, like the scientists would say, a baseline, assess what do we have now to make a comparison to what we have then. But we were really astonished about our baseline already. So the University of Koblenz was the one driving this monitoring issue, and we're really happy to see what happens in the future.
So the science is already backing you up that this project is having a positive impact on biodiversity?
At least it creates the basis for us to argue when it's important to keep certain spaces. We're putting asphalt on spaces where we could say this is a better place for keeping it open, keeping it natural. And you always have to have the arguments on your hand, and science is backing us. But we want this as well, We don't have to be convinced. We have to convince others, maybe. And when cities from abroad or from Germany call us and say what's the good parts of the edible city, then we can tell them this is one of the things that we can, proclaim as a positive.
Right. Okay, so where are those chickens you were talking about?
They're hiding. This is a house in the inner moat. This was like
this is the old moat of the medieval wall.
Yeah. So there's Mr. Rooster, very potent with his 3 ladies.
Okay, I'm just leaning over the wall now. I'm looking down. It's about maybe a 3 or 4 meter drop, and there's a rooster, three hens, and they've got a little red house over there with a roof on top, and they're sort of walled in here with the medieval wall. And So, I mean, what purpose do these chickens serve? Is it just for the eggs, or do they have any other purpose in this project?
Well, as you can see, there's an egg carton over there, so they are producing eggs as well. So the edible city is actually also animalistic.
So if I'm a citizen here now and I want to get an egg for breakfast, I mean, how do I get down there? This is like a medieval wall. I can't just jump down here, can I?
Well, we want to keep all our spaces open. That's what we want to do. But this one is the only one that is closed off for citizens.
So who gets those eggs? They go directly to the mayor, or who gets them?
Special delivery? No. So these eggs are picked up by the Perspektive, and they sell them at our permaculture or in our regional small shop in the inner center.
Okay. Wow.
Small roads, short ways.
Talking of shops, I mean, is that one concern that perhaps was raised, at this when this project got started, that small shops might lose out if people were sort of picking their own vegetables instead of buying them with grocery stores?
Yeah, unfortunately, the edible city of Andernach cannot provide the 30,000 inhabitants with all the vegetables, so they don't have to be afraid to lose any of the customers. I think maybe they can get some ideas what to provide if the edible city puts something exotic in the gardens and they see this is picked frequently, maybe we should put it in our stock as well.
So if we talk in terms of yield, I mean, how much food do you get out of this for the people? Have you done any assessment on that? I mean, just how much can they actually replace with, the supermarket food that they buy, for instance?
I think that's going to be one of my tasks within my job, to really see how much can we get out of this. We have in the Edible Cities Network, this EU project that I'm working with, different kind of tools where we can assess these things, and we can calculate how much water we need, how much nutrients we need to invest, and how much we can get out of it. So we're using these tools and trying to develop us to a more, the Edible City 2.0. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's the target for the future, maximizing the yields and also minimizing the
losses. Yeah, because knowing what you plant and how much is harvested, you can calculate these things. I'm a bit of a fan of numbers, but in the end, it should be just a nice environment where we see that the citizens feel welcome, and it spreads to tourists. A lot of people come here just for the interest of what's the edible city about.
You have guided tours as well, right?
We have. I think over 300 guided tours a year, and I think the groups are around 20 to 30, I'm not really sure. And we get also questions to the administration for more organizational aspects of these kind of tours, like what do we really do when you want to become edible. So we have these two different aspects.
And Anneli, I mean, what sort of feedback have you been getting from, the people of Andernach? Is this something, how were they sort of about this to begin with? Because you said, it does use up a lot of space, and space is an issue for people, right? People, affordable living space, for instance. Is there sort of a bit of competition going on there with people saying, well, why don't you build flats instead of planting stuff?
I have not heard that kind of a discussion yet, but I could imagine that some people might think that the green spaces could be used for something else. Sure, always a competition there, but in the end, I think people will favor the green in front of a huge cement block in front of their yard or wherever they live.
This is an excellent project. I often drop by to pick some herbs that I'm missing at home. Everything is easily accessible. There aren't any fences. You just drop by and take what you need. I also think it's great that the long-term unemployed are involved in the project. It's just a great concept. I don't know anybody who is critical of it. The only thing is, you have to be quick once the fruits are ripe, or they'll all be gone.
Phänomenal. Ist ganz toll.
The project is phenomenal, especially the workers and gardeners who tend these areas all year round. Personally, the project hasn't changed me because I've always been close to nature. But it's really great that you now have these opportunities centrally, in the city. Most of the fruit and vegetables still need a bit until they're ripe. So today I came here to pick some Greek mountain tea leaves. That's already possible.
Griechischer Bergtee.
Also ich bin ganz begeistert davon.
I'm really quite thrilled by the whole project here, just like everyone else in Andernach. I can't say that it's changed me personally or raised my awareness for food and plants because I have my own permaculture in my garden and I've been self-sufficient for some time now. So I don't harvest anything here myself.
Weil ich meinen eigenen Garten habe. Ich bin Selbstversorger.
Vielen Dank. Anneli, I'm perfectly honest now. I skipped breakfast. I haven't had any breakfast. Is there anything here that I could just, have a quick nibble at?
Yeah, you can munch the salad. We have Lolo Blanco, Lolo Rosso. Yeah, this should be fine.
This should be fine. Okay, this is like I'll just pick one out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like red lettuce. Do I need to wash this? It's organic, right? I can just eat it.
It rained this morning.
It rained this morning, and it's organic, so I'm just going to eat this.
You did it on your own risk, right?
So if I come back here, when I'm finished interviewing you, I could just harvest a couple and take them home for my kids?
Yeah.
And, is there any, I don't know, a kitty or a box or something where I put in a bit of money? Or, is this really, everything is for free?
Yeah, everything is for free. This is the investment that we do. Well, a tulip or any other blossom that we put into the earth, dies after a while and has only the visual impression that we can keep on a photo maybe, but it's not very long lasting. At least this can get you through maybe until 12. This little nibble.
Well, I don't know. I was going to try something else. What have we got over here? There's more salads. This is salad as well, right? That can be eaten, right?
Yeah, in German term mangold. Yeah,
no.
I wouldn't eat that raw. I think we should cook it first.
Okay. Is there anything else that I could pick? It's probably not exactly. You'd have more in a couple of months, right? That could be harvested.
Yeah, I saw a red strawberry back at the city wall.
Okay. Well, we'll have to make it.
I'd offer you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this something that the project, does it die then after autumn, or do you also plant stuff through the winter? Because I also understand some plants, like spinach, I think, grows all the year round, right? Or
Brussels sprouts. We're a lover of those. With a good set of potatoes. Yeah, we have plants all year round. So trying to keep the vegetation cover intact, of course. So yeah, you haven't seen even half of it yet. So
sorry, I'm jumping the gun here. Okay,
let's see the bees. They're over here.
Right, bees. So you've got honeycombs as well. Wow. And we're still, the castle wall. Basically, this is all around the castle wall. So it's a very, very nice setting. Let's see if I can get some sound of this.
Of course.
Okay, so you've got some busy bees here as well. And, how much honey do they give?
40 kilos a year.
Wow. But this, again, is something that you would then bring to a local shop? Or, where would you get this? You wouldn't have people coming here and just taking out the honey, right?
Exactly. This is the other area, apart from the chickens, where you don't enter. The honey here is harvested also from the Perspektive, and they sell that also in the shops.
Okay.
So we have city-wide honey. It has a history. Andernach has a history with honeybees. Long time ago, the saga said that there was an attack on the city from this other side of the Rhine River, and two baker boys waking up early in the morning saw these attackers and threw beehives on them and saved the city, and that they could alarm the rest. So these are our friends and our helpers.
I love that, and you've got them here just in case those guys across the river, they come over again.
If they return, they know that we are equipped. We have them very well positioned. Yes.
Lovely. Okay, so now we're sort of a layer further down below the town wall. This is another wall. These are
apple trees and pears. Yeah, so where we're standing now, well, maybe it was filled with water many centuries ago. But in general, you see this area towards the street. Yeah, it was just a lawn like any other unspectacular lawn. People would walk the dogs here. Mm-hmm. It was not the most.
So it was probably all cut back as well. It wasn't long grasses like we see here now and wild.
No, exactly. It was, it's quite dull in my eyes. When you see what we have today, dull is the right term, I think. Yeah. And so we are standing just with the apple and the pear trees behind our backs, watching a real meadow of wild grass, flowers, everything emerging now. We'll see in a couple of days if we get more rain, then it's going to be even more. Yeah, the flowers are going to sprout here.
More colours then, yeah. It's all very green now, but it is starting to burst into life over there. I can see purple coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, and what are these? You've built like, this is, gosh, I mean, it's difficult to describe. These are like poles that have been rammed into the ground. It's almost like a huge tipi without the tent around it, right? And what's growing here?
It's going to be like a tent. In a few weeks, you're going to see, because this is hops.
Ah, beer.
Yeah. The edible city is also drinkable.
I should have come here in the evening.
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you grow your own hops as well.
Yeah, so there have been beer brewed here previously. It's not something that I planned this year to do, but this is a possibility, of course.
Wow. But, I mean, you need a lot of yield for that, right?
Yeah, just a small, like, microbrewery.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Did you taste the beer?
Me, myself, no. It was a couple of years ago. I wasn't here then.
Anneli, what have you tasted here? This is the second thing I've asked you. You haven't tasted it yet. I don't believe this.
Well, maybe I should go out and have my lunch.
You're working too much.
Could be. Could be. I'm enjoying myself working here. It's really true.
Well, I can tell you love your job. It must be very fulfilling, right?
Absolutely. And it's so many facets. Just looking at all the things that we put in the soil now and seeing the happy people picking it. Yeah, it's a joy.
It's not just, I mean, the utilization of this, it is also very, very pretty, right? It is nice to walk through here. You don't need a park that is perfectly groomed with, short-cut grass and all that, and all these fancy plants.
Yeah, and just saying that everything doesn't have to look neat, and, you have a dandelion every now here and there. You have wild rhubarb between the grapes there. That's all okay. It all has this purpose, even if we sometimes have to say we're not the ones who profit the most, And of course, we have to also think about what's coming, in the next couple of years. Already the last couple of years have shown us what the heat is doing to us. We're watering trees this morning, watering trees extra, like we haven't had rain for 3 or 4 weeks. And the young trees are very in use of watering. So we have to put that as an investment for the future, because these trees are going to help us get the shade that we need, and also for the birds and all this kind of protective measures that you have. You have to induce those, and you have to put them on the agenda and say that this is as important as living space, because if we don't have these green oases, we will not have any favorable living space as well.
Is that something that you're working on also for the future? Maybe a sort of a more sustainable water concept, or is that something that comes, automatically with the plants, or do you have to sort of develop, a sponge type city, or how does it work?
Yeah, there are many concepts that we have to deliver about. I mean, it's one way to think about the sponge city. There's the idea of having decentral water hubs where we can harvest water for our need, coming from rooftops or from even private housing. If there's a possibility that we can create these kind of hubs where we can use the water that has already, it's there already, and if we just let it run down the drain, we have no use of it. So we're really working towards that, and also we are reflecting on how we use the water that we have here today. The city modes, we have to change our concept of using tap water. It's a very, very delicate resource, and there are other ways of using water, and we have to use nutrients as well. And there are recycling ideas to use grey water, for example, where you have all the nutrients, or even so-called black water, where from the plumbing, so to say, the feces, there's so much nutrients in there that we're just flushing out and more or less contaminating surface waters. But we could use them before it reached that, and have that as our nutrient input in our gardens. So we're really thinking big and trying to start small. Yeah.
So if I were, somebody listening to this now, and I'm living in a town that I'm working on the council maybe, and I sort of think this sounds like a fantastic project. I mean, just in terms of budget, what sort of price tag are we looking at for Andernach on a yearly basis? I mean, how much does this cost?
Everything has a cost, of course. That's the most interesting thing. I get this question from many different municipalities calling. But in the end, if you just transform the parks and recreation budget that you have for the current areas, and you just change them to edible, you will come out at a good point.
That's a very diplomatic answer.
Oh, I have to try.
I've read somewhere like a low 6-digit figure. Would that be accurate?
Well, it can extend to that, definitely. The sky's the limit. And literally with this hop, this teepee looking at us, we could make 10 of those. There is no limit how many we can create. So use the space that you have efficiently and start small. Try out some hybrids maybe and see if that goes well.
Perhaps just one final question then, Anneli, before you go. You have to get back to the town hall, business calls. What are you eating this evening? Anything from here? Are you taking anything home?
I don't take anything home. No, I don't.
Why not?
This is for the citizens. It's not for me. No.
Oh my God, you're so altruistic. It's unbelievable. I don't believe this. Well, I'm taking something home. I hope you don't mind. I'm not a citizen of Andernach, though.
No, but you're one of these people we are inviting to come to us and visit and have, feel Andernach with all the senses. So do that, please.
Okay, I'll take another stroll around and I'll pick up that salad.
Perfect.
Anneli, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's left to say? Many thanks to my sound engineer Gert Georgi and my producer and colleague Natalie Muller. And thank you for listening to On the Green Fence. My name is Neil King. Take it easy and take care.
On the Green Fence.